I'm going to walk down. It looks like if I head down this way I'll get to Cedar Creek. So let's take a walk. This is our first visit to Queensland. Never been here before, and it has not disappointed us. When we were driving along past the Gold Coast, I noticed how the light was so different to the light in New South Wales. It's almost, feels like a gentler light. Maybe it was just the time of the afternoon. I try and visualize what the area would have been like hundreds of years ago. The koalas and the wallabies. When we were driving up the very steep ascent to the top of Mount Tamborine, I felt like I was being enfolded by the trees. There's something so beautiful about being in a forest. Well, for me, I feel like I'm coming home. It's just so comforting, and feels like you can breathe easy. There's probably a lot more oxygen here because of all the trees. So I'll keep walking and we'll catch up hopefully as I'm closer to the creek. I'm just listening to the different sounds of the birds. People obviously come down here on their horses, which would be lovely. Do an outride down to the creek. Look at that creeper all the way up to the top of that tree. Do you hear the birds? I would head into the bushes, but I'm just a little bit nervous of snakes and spiders. This is an area where you find the very dangerous funnel web spider and a number of other very venomous snakes. So I think I'm probably better off sticking to the road. You can see the creek down at the bottom. Well, I can hear it. There we go. So it's not far. But it's just such a beautiful walk. It reminds me of the Great Ocean Road in Victoria. And There you drive for kilometers and kilometers through the most beautiful forests. So this is the tropical version of that. You can hear the cicadas. So here we have a sign. This park protects our natural and cultural heritage. And that's a little otter on the sign. So this is Tamborine National Park. That's a flood marker. So obviously the water comes through here to that height, which is amazing. The water is so clear. Right, well, I've reached the walking trail part. So we're going to just quickly have a look at the notice board or the info board. Welcome to Tamborine National Park. Jingari Jingari Yugambanga Yagun. Welcome to the lands of the Ugamba, the traditional language group of Aboriginal people of this region. For thousands of years, Cedar Creek has been a place for families and friends to spend time together, surrounded by the sounds and smell of the bush. Meals have been shared, occasions celebrated, and stories told. So there are different walks one can go on, to rock pools, place to renew the spirit. Cedar Creek is close to a site that was part of a huge complex of 3 Bora rings where Ugamba and neighbouring groups gathered for corroborees of public and sacred businesses. These gatherings became less frequent and eventually ceased when lands were subdivided for European settlement. Life abounds at Cedar Creek. The diverse landscape of Cedar Creek is home to many fascinating plants and animals. Fragrant open eucalyptus forest gives way to dry rainforest, where fragile orchids and ferns decorate the forest floor. Frogs call from the creek line while koalas laze in tall Queensland bluegums. Relax and enjoy the natural diversity that Cedar Creek has to offer. There's a lace monitor. He can cover 3 kilometers a day looking for insects, reptiles and small mammals, birds and carrion. They are also scavengers and do become quite aggressive towards people. So people are asked not to feed them. The laughing kookaburra often perches in a spot where they can survey their surroundings for food and predators. Once again, they associate people with food, so one should not feed them. Fertile volcanic soil washed downstream from the mountain tops, supporting patches of dry rainforest along Cedar Creek. Trees such as grey myrtle and smooth tuckaroo reach towards the sky, forming a canopy sheltering delicate rainforest plants. Beautiful area. One can bring a picnic here. There's a bush turkey. Yeah, and he's turning over everything. So let's have a look here. Oh, it just says it closes at 6 o'clock. I've just spotted a kookaburra killing. Must be a little snake. Let's see if we can zoom in. He's sitting on that log. It's either a snake or a lizard, but he's certainly tenderizing it. That looked like a little snake or a legless monitor, a legless lizard. I'm heading towards the sound of water. So on this little info board, there's information on the creek falls. As I say, they're more than just waterfalls. The creek and surrounding habitat provide an important refuge for species and also act as a water filter, playing a vital role in the supply of fresh water. The azure kingfisher, one of Australia's smallest kingfishers, perches in the branches, plunges into the water for crustaceans and insects. There's the striated pardalote, lives in the tree canopy, bottlebrush, and then you have the longfin eel. So this is what's so fascinating about eels. They begin and end their life far out at sea. Young eels, called elvers, use coastal currents to search for estuaries before undertaking a grueling upstream migration, even wriggling up waterfalls. After several decades In their freshwater sanctuary, mature eels make one final journey downstream, traveling thousands of kilometers to return to their exact birthplace to breed and die. Do you feel the magic in this area that's been here for thousands and thousands of years? Just imagine the volcanic eruption that would have created such an enormous mountain. The force of nature that would have created this millions of years ago. It's also known as the Holy Mountain, as in mountain with holes, because of the little holes in the volcanic rock, obviously caused by air escaping the lava. It's quite windy up here, so I'm not sure how it's affecting the quality of sound. I'm not very good with heights. When I stand high up, and I mean this is not that high, but even standing high up here, there's someone who's going to go for a swim. Standing high up here, I get shooting pains through my legs. So this little walk will obviously take one down to the bottom of the falls. So I'll double back and see if we can just walk a little further along the trail. I'm taking a walk down towards the bottom of the falls. Quite a few people here today. Perfect swimming spot. Everybody coming up looks quite thirsty. Whoops. You've got to mind your step here. This area is also obviously quite prone to huge fires. Okay, so it's not recommended to go jumping into rock pools. It's a lovely pool down there. I wonder who lives in the top vegetation up there.